Compassionate logic.
New ideas and efficient tools for a happier, more connected life.
Another one, this is the one that I did, but to name it, it's denial. So just pretend there isn't a problem. Say, in my marriage to my wife, if there was something going on and I didn't know how to address it, or I didn't have the courage to talk to my wife about it, or I wasn't sure what was going on, rather than having a discussion about it or talking it through with someone neutral outside, or maybe looking up some advice, or any of those things might be constructive, I can just go, there shouldn't be a problem because other people don't have this problem, or if there's something wrong with our relationship, then there's something wrong with me. Or the extreme game, well, if there's anything wrong with our relationship, then we'll have to get divorced and then I'll be alone, or all sorts of things your brain can do. So denying it in hopes either that it actually isn't a problem and you're wrong, or that it'll go away if you avoid it long enough, that is one that I'm very well aware of because I spent most of my life doing that. Avoidance, denial, not an effective coping mechanism. Another way of dealing with stress and anxiety is just get really passive aggressive. And so I'm feeling off and I don't know how to deal with it, so I'm just going to be really snarky and sarcastic and do all those little passive aggressive things, saying everything just a little bit sideways with just a little bit of a hook on it, and that'll get rid of a little bit of my stress. Troy was all about straight up aggression, a very active aggression of just blowing up at people, but passive aggression also not very effective.
Another coping mechanism is self-pity. Just to complain about life, how everything is bad and it's not your fault, which is a lot like being a victim, right? Just talking about how your whole life is out of your control and your reaction to your life is out of your control. Oh, woe is me. Self-pity. I've spent some time in that, and it's quite easy to bounce from self-pity to really loud, really angry, and then go back to self-pity, and then really loud, really angry. Not much peace in either one of them. Yeah, you mentioned earlier about how it just builds. Builds and builds and builds. How do you deal with stress and anxiety? Do you share any of the things that we're doing or that we previously did? I try not to do any of those things. But being human, there are things that are going to send us in that direction. I used to just blame anger management for being part of the problem, because the problem is not after I'm mad, the problem is getting mad in the first place. How do I unwire that?
It's amazing how many different ways we try to avoid dealing with our problems. But one way is, I'm just going to prevent any problems from ever happening again, because I'm just going to do everything perfectly and then there won't be any problems. The downside of perfectionism is we're not perfect. And if you have perfection not as an ideal, but something you hold yourself to, an impossible standard that you must meet, then just your way of dealing with stress is probably one of the main causes of stress. And then because you didn't do everything perfect, then you revolve over, well, how am I going to do it better and how can I fix it? And the next thing you know, a lot of people I know who are perfectionists are insomniacs because they dwell on how do I fix it, what can I do, how can I do it better? And sometimes there is no answer because you're already doing everything to the peak of your ability and it's in someone else's hands, or it's not something you can control. Maybe the market that you're in business in changed, or maybe one of your kids has a problem you can't do anything with, or there's an illness, or whatever it is. Perfectionism is about control, and rather than necessarily dealing with problems as they arise, it's trying to control the future by being perfect now. And usually perfectionists not only have high standards for themselves, but they also have really high standards for other people too. Or they go, well, I'm not going to hold you to the same standard, because then there's that little sneaky, well, I'm better than everybody else because I'm going for perfection and they're okay with just doing the crap that they do. And so there can be these other little things that generate more stress and disconnect with other people.
And it's the stress that you put on yourself about having to be perfect with every single little thing that is so weighty. But it seems like it's a ticket out of anxiety and stress when you're in it, being perfect. But it's not.
Thank you for watching our video.
If you like the video, please subscribe.
Please like.
Please leave a comment below. Thank you so much.